name's Ralph and welcome back to the channel. It's my time, let's go. So as you can see, we almost got the cases all together here and they're ready to go, and we've got our oil pump on and everything sealed up and everything in it. So I had the oil pump gear on there. You know, I showed you the gear that spins in there. It was very important to have free movement on that, and that was a brand new gear out of the package. Now I had bought all new gears to save any troubles or hassles with them, and figuring that's the way to go. So this is the oil pump drive gear that's off the oil pump itself inside, and that's the one that had to be freewheeling. And it meshes up with a spiral gear like this, and the two work in conjunction like this when they're together. When I went to slide this gear on the pinion shaft, and it should go on fairly easy, it's a sliding fit there, and there's a spacer here that gives it room to move and float to engage with the other gear. It would only go on just starting on the key, and you try to put it on, and I tried rotating the engine to make the bottom one to make this turn to feed itself in, and it just ended up locked up tight. So obviously the one on here that I put on new, I began to wonder about, and I tried an older one on it, and it was exactly the same thing. So I couldn't understand how anything could get out of line. I did line bore the pinion hole, but you know, you're talking many thousandths of an inch you'd have to get out before you'd ever have them not mesh properly in there. I also put the pinion gear on, I put the cam in it, cam cover slid on nice and easy and right, you know, everything spun like it should, but I couldn't get that drive gear in. So what I ended up doing was loosening the pump off and taking it part way off, taking this out, and as soon as I took it out and I held it beside another gear, I know it's very, very hard to see there, and you probably can't, but this gear is smaller than this gear. And when I measured it, it's 70th hour, 70th hour, talking a 1/16 of an inch bigger than what it was supposed to be. So of course, when it was slid on there and you tried to mesh it with this gear, as soon as it started to go on, it locked up tighter than a drum. So that was brand new out of the bag from one of my distributors, and it's not a Jim's one. Matter of fact, I have one on another motor that I'm working on. I took the gear, a good gear out of it. I couldn't use this one because this is out of Margaret's and it's all crudted up. But I have another one there handy. I took that out, tried it, and as soon as I tried it, gear slid right on. So got you a little bit excited about what might happen. You know, I'm going like, I don't want to tear the cases and everything apart, but I don't know what's going on. So sometimes you can't always count on that aftermarket gear. So they do make different years of these, and this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess it'd be a 5-tooth cross here. We call that a 5-tooth with a 24-tooth gear here. Now the pre-72 ones back in I think 53 or so are a 6-tooth gear here and a 25-tooth one here, which I thought might be the case, but I counted it, it's 24. It's just a piece of trash manufactured out of Taiwan that's not even close. Once again, try to save a couple dollars and it costs you way more work in the end, and in the end you'll have to get a good one anyway. So all I can say about that is when things don't fit right and you can't get them in, don't jam them in, don't force them in, don't push them in, don't tap that gear on hard. You know, it should slide on there nice and easy, as I'll show you when we go to stick it in. But if it doesn't go on nice and easy and the way it should, you know, something's wrong. So just stop, take a deep breath, start thinking about the parts that you got that you're working with and what it might be, and usually you'll figure it out. Okay. So this is the drive gear here. This is our other gear. And that's how it should be. So what we got to try and do is get the little key in there, and I've lined up the shafts so that the slot, it's very hard to get it in there. Usually there's a little more space there on it, but carefully try and shove it in there. There we go. So that we have enough room to get our C-clip on there. This one can quite often be a patience tester as well. Make sure that we're locked down in there. There we go. Okay. Been very careful not to disturb the gaskets. They're just on there, so they should be fine. For a sec while we start these ones. Make sure that our gasket's lined up. You can usually tell when it's lined up on the bottom of this here, but looking inside here, in this area, you can see if it's hanging out the back side. It's quite easy to have that gasket hanging out on the back side of it. You're putting your oil pump here and you're not looking and you're trying to get everything to fit. If it's moved over quite a bit on there, it can cause you leaks and cause you problems down the road. All right, so we had a bit of a problem with it last time trying to get them to line up right. I'm hoping it goes a little easier this time, being as how we had to take it all apart. There. Sometimes you can have a slight bit of drag when you just do these four, but once you've got them so they're not binding, and you can go and start to snug these ones up there. Okay, I'm just gonna get my torque wrench and do those. And now we'll just torque them 95 to 120 inch-pounds. So I usually go about 105 in there. And hopefully we're still spinning. There we are. Nice. So now we'll put our new gear on here, the drive gear. And I always like to take it, try the key in the keyway. Always make sure that it slides back and forth in there, and that's what we're looking for. So we'll try to put the key in. Oh. Now, put a little engine lube on this. Fair enough. And this always goes in with the chamfered side in. This is flat. Chamfered side in. And there we go. And that's in there like it should be, like that. With a nice sliding fit on that gear. So when it turns, there's no binding. The spacer goes in. And now we need a second key for here. And I always like to use a little dab of blue on this. They say not to, but it's 35 to 45 pounds, and I've seen a lot of them loose. Left-hand thread. Special tool for it. And to make it quick and easy today, I'm just going to put a pin through here. go. There we go. Making sure that this has play here in between the washer. Now that old pump should work just fine. Looks great. So we're going to put our cam in now today. We've got a brand new cam for her. It's an AB grind, so it's not too radical, and it really doesn't require any head work, but it should perk it up pretty good. We're just going to stick that in there. There we go. And I put about a 70 thou spacer in behind the cam as a good starting point to get my measurements. I don't have the seal in my cam cover at this time. I think I'll put a little squirt on that, just make it easier to slide in and out, because I don't want any restrictions on there when I check the end spacing. Put a couple screws in it. And we got a nice powder coated black cover for it. Thanks to my buddy that powder coated it for me. There we go. All right. Now we'll look down inside and to see what kind of spacing we have, if any. Cool. That. Pretty good where it is, I would say. Close. 50. All right. Now I'm checking between the end of the cam and the caser. I've got the washer, and about a 15 thousandths of an inch space in there. So I'd like to run them 10 or under. So I'm going to look. I got a 70 there. I'm going to try a 75 in there, and it'll probably just bring me in under that 10 thou range. So that'll be our next step. Let's get one and try it. And now we've got our 75 thou one in there. So now we've made a few changes there, and easily put 5 in there. That gives me 5 thou on those. Just got to deal with our breather gear now. So the last thing I got to do is check my spacing for my breather gear. I usually like to have that at 12 thou across here, maybe 6 thou across, leaves me 5, 6 thou for clearance. So what we're doing is slipping it right down through here. Hold the flat across, and I can just get 12 thou in there. Like I say, it's going to crush 6 thou, they say, for gasket crush. So that will leave me enough there. So I would say that we're pretty well done with the cam chest here. Got everything in place. I got to put my seal on my cover, then put the cover on. That will be ready to go. So maybe we'll get the lifters in today so that it'll cover up the open spots there. And then we'll have her for today that much. Okay, and where's our cam marks? 1 and 2. We'll just slide the cam out and index it. Jeez Louise. And this dot here is lined up with this. Thumb gear, breather gear in, and there's the mark on that right there. Tooth. There, that little mark on there is lined up with that. This one's lined up with that. She's all good. Right where she's supposed to be. Move these up. Move all my cam lobes up really well. make sure I can move my breather gear there. The big washer and stuff in behind should be able to move nice and easily if you got your clearances right. And I just stick something down there to make sure that my breather gear has its clearances, and it does. I'm very happy with that. So, guess we just got to get our lifter blocks, fire them on. I want to put a fitting in here, and that'll about have me for today. And you always make sure that the cutout here with the hole is facing inward. I had to take these lifter blocks and solid lifters out of another motor that I have in pieces. I have a new set of Jim's blocks and hydraulic lifters to go in that one. So these ones worked out great to get the solids out of, being as the other ones, again, were pretty well destroyed after being left to rust. So there wasn't much left to salvage at all. I'm going to use the solids. I'm not going to go out and buy a whole set of hydraulics just to put in this when there's absolutely nothing wrong with the solids. And at some point, a lot of it boils down to money too. You know, you can only put so much into things and replace so much. And me being a pull boy, it's hard. I'm lucky that I have parts that I can go back and relate to. That saves me in some cases. But if I didn't, I'd be in way bigger world of hurt. But I'm still using up my parts that are worth value, and just fortunate to have them like this to swap out. You know, it's another motor that I had acquired that I had plans for. Actually a shovel head stroker that I'm going to be working on in my spare time. But these will do the duty. And just tighten them up by hand. They're a good 1/4 inch coarse thread, so you can give them a pretty good little snug. There. Now, as long as they go up and down. Very good, very good. I'm gonna give a little shot of oil down in there now that the cases have had a chance. Keep any debris out of there. Okay, need to get a little fitting for that. We can stick the oil pressure gauge fitting on here as well. So we'll tidy up a few more things, and now those are done, the heads are done, so I'm pretty well down to it. Now it's time to do the barrels, and I've been kind of putting that off because it's kind of a shitty, dirty job, but it's got to be done. So that'll be the next thing to do, is fit the pistons to the barrels and start putting the rest of it together. It should go pretty quick. All right. As you can see today, I'm into that tedious task of scraping gaskets again. Just not my favorite thing, but we're gonna have to clean them off as if we're gonna use them and just get it done. What we've got here today is Margaret cylinders, and I'm finally gonna get a chance to get at them. That's the plan. And as you can see, they're pretty rusted up inside. So the plan today is to see what I can do about it. We're gonna scrape the gaskets off and clean them off. I got positive thoughts that I'm gonna be able to use them. I got a few different oversized pistons, but if I get to the size I want, I'll be lucky. So I'm hoping We're only about standard now, so I'm hoping to come in around 20 thou over pistons, but we won't know till we get there. I've got some old stones that I'm going to use. At first, just to take a rough and cut out of there, try and clean the rust out, and see where I can go from there before I use my good set of coarse stones to try and get them out to size. So we're going to work away at it today, and as I say, I'm going to think positive and get the gaskets off and get them cleaned off, and then I've got this plate made up that goes on the bottom of the cylinder, which will bolt on to hold our cylinders in place. Instead of grabbing them by the ears, a lot of guys will put them in a vise and grab them by the ear, and if you're not careful about where the fins are sticking out and such, I've seen the ears get broke right off them. So we're going to go ahead with that, clean all our surfaces, and then we'll get them ready to run the home through them. Needless to say, they're baked on, for lack of a better term. So today we're going to try to get these cleaned out, and there's a lot of crud in here inside of this, and it's very rough. So I'm just going to take a chisel here and just lightly try to scrape off any of the bumps that are in there where the rust has built up. That way when I put my hone in there, it won't be fighting against those right off the bat to start with. Alright, I think I'll stick my rough stones in there. We'll have a look and see what happens. Still got a little bit up top, but I think we're getting down to it there now. I'll give it a couple more cuts with that before I change my stones. All right, let's get these stones out. Could check the size, but the size really doesn't matter at this point until such time as I've got all the rust out and a nice clean surface. If I can't attain that within a proper size, it won't be happening. I think I'll flip this, just go in from the other direction. Always watching your fins. So we're down to it. I did the worst one first, and I've got it now to where I'm down to size, and I got to take another couple thou out to finish. No thou and a half, 2 thou to finish, and I'm gonna have to order new pistons. I got 20 thou over, I got 50 thou over, I got no 40s. We're going to put a 40 thou over piston, and this still leaves you a lot to overbore with a 74, so it's not a problem. I believe that this cylinder was the worst cylinder, so that the other one shouldn't be quite as bad, but you can't always afford to buy new cylinders all the time. I did that with the last project, and I'm into so much stuff here. And like I say, if I was out to the limits, I would think about it, but I'm not out to the limit. So 40, 50, 60, 70, you know, I got a lot of overbores left in it, and if we do this right, this one should last for quite a period of time. So I'm going to take this apart now, and I'm going to start on my other one and see where I get. Not even close. We got a long ways to go. There's such a big groove where the pistons were sitting in the water line that that's the problem, trying to get past that and still have enough left. So once I'm done with this one, I'll know if I can go with the 40 thou over or not. Long way to go. Try and clean it up. All right, I keep at it till I'm done. So we're working away at the cylinders. It's a dirty job. Not one of my favorites, but it has to be done. So we've got these just about, the second barrel just about honed out to size now. And when I get near the end, I'm down a thou or a couple thou, 2 thou generally. Not to size, just to where I want to change and put the finer hones in. I got in the habit of rotating the cylinders a little bit. And the reason that I've done that is because that I've found that as you're doing the cylinders, especially if you're taking quite a bit off for one reason or another, everything is laying down. Everything is, the force is always downward of the hone itself. And because it's always sort of putting pressure downward, if you're taking quite a bit off, it has a tendency to lay down in there as you work it back and forth. Yes, it's a perpendicular hone. Yes, it does hone round. It's what it's supposed to do. But I found myself in situations where you got near the end and all of a sudden you had a 1/2 thousandth of an inch to 1/1000th of an inch difference this way from that way. And the only explanation I had for that was maybe, you know, some of the stones getting a bit worn and such. And I think that a large part of it could be contributed to that. But I still found that if I took the time and flipped the cylinder 90 degrees, it seemed to very quickly take out any irregularities that I had there. Now remember, this is just what I do, so it's not the gospel. Just trying to pass on some things that the way I do it, you know, and I'm open for anybody's comments on anything, what they think. That's always great. One more. And yeah, it takes a few extra minutes. My hole is pretty straight there. I got maybe a 1/2 thou difference one way or another. But we're certainly not at the finishing hone stage. But really the finishing hone stage is only like 1.5 thou to 2 thou finishing it up. So you go from the rough, very coarse stones to about, I use a 300 grit for my finishing. They suggest anywhere 280 to 320. There's a lot of them. So Kurt taught me that. Stay in that range, and I always have, and I've got pretty good results. So, let's have a quick look. Stick a light pass through it. Looking good. This is not the time to be hogging big amounts of material out. Okay, looks good. All right. So I'm about a half a thou above where I want to be, and that's close enough. It leaves me 2 thou for finishing and ball honing. So I'm going to wait before I do any more here. I could take a smoothing cut, I suppose, but it makes quite a mess and stuff, and I'm going to wait till I get pistons and see what size they are, and I hopefully they'll be actually be to size, or pretty close. Even if they're a thou under, I'll still be okay to be able to do these cylinders and finish them out to where they're supposed to be. But the worst part is done. The dirty work is done. The other work when we get to it is fluid. You know, I mean, the stones, you're using the fluid and stuff like that. So yeah, you're throwing a bit of fluid, but it's not dusty like this. So I'm going to leave these for now and order my pistons. Now that I think I'm pretty damn close there. I got them inner and under. I got them everywhere but what I need. So I'm going to order up a set. If I find there's a drastic difference, then I'll have to change my plan and see which way to go on it. I still have oversized pistons, so we're still good there. But hopefully I've got the other one just cleaned up at this enough that it's usable. I don't want to go any bigger than that. If I didn't care, I'd just go ahead and do it, as I have bigger pistons. So that'll be it for those today. Thank God I hate honing cylinders. So we've got them pretty well down to finish size now. You just got to ball hone them and put a better crosshatch pattern in them. There's some little bit of crosshatch in there now, but I'm going to wait for the pistons because I could go another half a thou or thou, half a thou maybe, but I'm about where I want to be on these without final finishing hone. So we'll wait till the pistons come, then we'll know for sure. There's a varying degree on what the clearances are on here. You know, I see them 1.5 thou, you know, as the max. Kurt always said, you know, 0 to 2, you're good in there, especially if a guy gets on it right away, gives you that little bit of extra clearance, and you're good right up to like 4 or 5, 4 over. So it is an old shovel. You know, we're not going for the tightest specs, and somehow I doubt if it'll be broke in exactly right. You know, they never are. But I want something you can get on and go. And we're well within the clearances, don't get me wrong. We're not way out of spec by any means. But we'll see when the pistons come, and then we'll fit these, and there'll be another piece of the puzzle. Shut the door.